Gerald, let's take your take on that. There is no ceasefire agreement for now. It's not confirmed by Iran. And does this reflect a deeper breakdown between US and Middle East, according to you?
I don't think so. On the contrary, President Trump is interested in good relations with the GCC. He just wrapped up a month ago an historic visit, historic in quotation marks, a landmark visit to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Emirates, UAE here. And they signed deals worth billions of dollars in relation to AI investments. Regarding Qatar, yes, this is a broker. They also claimed that there's a Jerusalem Post claimed and reported that Qatar has brokered this ceasefire. Qatar is very interested in stability because they share with Iran the biggest non-associated gas field, the South Pass field, here in the Gulf waters. Non-associated gas field means gas is there without being mixed with oil, so that makes the gas very pure, make it very cheap to explore and unique in the world. So no, I think diplomacy now, the pathway is open to diplomacy. It will take, as I said, weeks until everything is settled. You see it also in your country where you are now, in India and Pakistan. Pakistan airspace is still closed for Indian airlines after the unfortunate fightings, aerial fightings and dogfights around the Kashmir region. So, and the same now we will see now the summer, lots of diplomatic activities, but again, markets say that the stress is over as of now.
And building on your answer, I would like to ask Adrian, that naturally makes us question about, with missiles still flying and attacks reported, can we even call this a ceasefire in effect, or is this more a pause in escalation, according to you?
Great question, Asuma. Just looking at history and the way the regime works, it seems like a pause. They're unbelievably good at tactical retreats for maintaining their long-term strategic objectives. So is this just another tactical retreat on their part? It's obviously too early to say, but it does give them some time, buy them some time, at least a little bit of time to try and figure out what hit them, figure out who's in command of what. They're reeling their whole entire command structure on the military side, the IRGC. I wouldn't even call it a military. They need to reorganize. Khamenei needs to rethink this. But at the end of the day, he's about survival. The regime's about survival, and they can always wait out an American election cycle. They know that, and they're going to probably try and do the best they can to wait out Trump. I mean, that's always been the theory, is that they're going to try and do this, but Trump acted after 61 days, or told Israel, you got the green light on this one. We'll see what happens. But they're master. The regime is mastered. They've mastered this ability of the tactical retreat for the strategic long-term goals.
And now, Gerald, do you agree with the assessment of Adrian? Do these mixed signals undermine the credibility of future U.S. brokered ceasefires in the region, according to you?
No, they won't. And going back to Adrian's point in relation to historical and empirical evidence, in the past, when there were ceasefires in the Middle East, there was always some skirmish afterwards. 1967, I mentioned the 1967 Six-Day War because Trump said just earlier that his brokered ceasefire will end this 12-day war. That's obviously a reference to the Six-Day War in 1967, when Israel conquered the Sinai, the West Bank, and the Golan Heights. And this was followed by the war of attrition, which went years after, where the Egyptian army inflicted heavy losses on the Israeli forces. And also the 1973 Yom Kippur or Ramadan October War was followed by a lot of skirmish afterwards. And even then the Minister of Defense, Israeli Minister of Defense, Moshe Dayan, said this ceasefire after 2 weeks was only on October 24th, 1973, was only on paper. the fighting continued. There was fighting on the Sinai, and there was also fighting on the Golan Heights until spring 1974. And then only in Geneva thereafter they signed a final disengagement agreement on the Golan Heights. So in the Middle East, it's never like a light switch where everything is switched off and then the weapons are laid down. We have to unfortunately watch the situation, and there might be some skirmish and attacks here and there, but this is also a bigger case than, for example, in other skirmishes before. And the Israelis have never seen this impact of devastation and missile attacks before on Tel Aviv. So both sides will be very careful. Also, the regime in Iran will be careful, because they have to now reconstruct, they have to reinvest, and have to also appease the population that the economy will go better. Otherwise, the instability will stay. But so far, it looks like the ceasefire will be installed, I think, during the summer.
And now expanding on that, Adrian, could this become a pattern? Do you think short wars and U.S. Maybe attacking in Middle East, and then U.S. declarations of peace, maybe in Truth Social, like just like Trump did, but no enforcement deals on the ground? What is your take on this?
Well, my take is that the U.S. approach to military engagements, and it's changed. Okay, it's you're not going to see the large troop deployments, boots on the ground. You're going to have smaller teams operating. We're going to be working with our allies or near peer allies to try and neutralize the threats that we face around the globe. And that's one of the kind of the fear-mongering tactics that's used by people that say, you know, Trump, don't do this, don't take out the nuclear program. Is that you're going to drag us into another 20-year war in Afghanistan or another war in Iraq. And that's the American appetite. The American public doesn't have the appetite for that. The American political class doesn't have the appetite for that. That's not the way wars are won right now. Warfare has changed, and we've recognized that. So it is kind of a hybrid of what you're going to see coming from us. It's going to be this, and you know, strength through power, and that power is on full display, and it is a truly awesome firepower display in Beijing and Moscow are both watching. So it sends a clear message, you know, peace through strength. That's the big takeaway from this. And there was another great point that Gerard brought up, is about, you know, there's, I won't say all 90 million, 92 plus million Iranians are against this regime, but I would put that number at least 80 million Iranians. So that's one thing that the regime is going to have to contend with. It was what's going on inside the country when they've been oppressed for so long, brutalized, especially over the last, well, since forever, but since the Masa Amini protests. Some of the stories that have come out of there have been just absolutely horrible, and that's something Khamenei has to contend with now, and that's why I said he's got to regroup, because he has a chance of losing control of his country. Is the true fact, you know, the fact behind the matter.
Gerald and Adrian, you will stay with us now. We move on to our next story.